WNBA players were demanding to be given credit for elevating the league. Angel Reese claimed that she was along with their pretend friends in the main.
Throughout the year, WNBA players have been vocal about the recognition they believe they deserve for helping elevate the women's basketball league into the mainstream. One of the most outspoken voices has been Angel Reese, who boldly claimed that she, along with other players, should be credited for the rise in popularity of the sport. But while Reese and others have fought to make sure their contributions are acknowledged, there's an undeniable tension in the air, especially when it comes to who truly holds the spotlight. Reese went so far as to say that fans tune into women's basketball not just because of legends like Caitlin Clark, but also because of her. This is a powerful claim, but as the league transitions into a new era, questions about Reese's ability to live up to her own statements are starting to mount. With Caitlin Clark's departure from the scene and Kelsey Plum stepping back, all eyes are now on Reese to carry a league that, to put it bluntly, is in turmoil. But is she really ready to rise to the occasion, or will the weight of her bold claims and the controversies surrounding her off-the-court actions ultimately be her undoing? Let's break this down. Reese made her claim that we're watching women's basketball for me too at a time when the league was grappling with its place in the sports world. There was no denying that the WNBA was gaining traction, but there were also strong arguments that Caitlin Clark, with her unmatched skill and growing fan base, was the face of the sport. Yet Reese, who has a much larger presence off the court than her peers, was confident in asserting that she too was driving the spotlight. Whether that's true or not is up for debate, but what's clear is that Reese's impact cannot be denied, especially when we consider the latest venture she's associated with, Unrivaled. Unrivaled, the ambitious new 3-on-3 league, has started with grand promises of revolutionizing women's basketball. They've promised 6-figure salaries, high-energy games, and equity stakes for players. With these kinds of lofty goals, Unrivaled had the potential to change the landscape of women's basketball and bring in a new era of fame and recognition. But as the debut season nears, the league has already faced a series of setbacks, including a wave of withdrawals from key players and a string of PR missteps. Fans and pundits alike are growing increasingly skeptical about the league's long-term viability. At the center of it all stands Angel Reese. If Unrivaled is going to succeed, and it needs a miracle to do so, Reese is their last marquee draw. She's the only player capable of drawing mainstream attention to the league. Whether it's fair or not, the future of Unrivaled is intrinsically tied to her success. If she can prove herself both on and off the court, the league might have a chance at surviving. If she falters, well, that could be the beginning of Unrivaled's unraveling. So what does Reese have to offer? She's no stranger to the spotlight. From her championship win at LSU to her viral celebrations, she's always managed to find a way to make headlines. Whether you love her or hate her, Reese has become one of the most talked about figures in women's basketball. She's made bold statements, unapologetically owning her position in the sport. Her infamous "you're too small" taunt to Caitlin Clark during the NCAA tournament was a defining moment, and it cemented her as a polarizing figure in the eyes of fans and media alike. But is that enough? Now, without Caitlin Clark's undeniable presence in the WNBA and Kelsey Plum's decision to step back, Reese is under more pressure than ever to prove her worth. These changes have left the league without its two biggest stars, and suddenly, Reese's role has never been more significant. She now faces the challenge of leading Unrivaled's debut and carrying the hopes of a league struggling to make its mark. However, there's a problem. Reese's time in the spotlight has often been marred by controversies both on and off the court. She's known for her brash, unapologetic attitude, but that's also led to her making statements and taking actions that have made her polarizing. From her past comments about the attention she deserves to her stance on women's basketball's growth, Reese has never been one to shy away from controversy. Whether it's been her rivalry with Clark or the way she's handled criticism from fans and commentators, she's developed a reputation that's as divisive as it is commanding. In some ways, that boldness is what makes her such an intriguing figure. She's not afraid to take risks, to speak her mind, and to make herself heard even if it means stepping on toes. But in a league that's still trying to find its footing, this could be a double-edged sword. With the mounting pressure on Reese to carry Unrivaled to success, she may have to prove that she's more than just a media spectacle. The stakes have never been higher. Reese isn't just a player, she's the face of a movement that promises to elevate women's basketball to new heights. But is she ready to deliver on those promises? With her history of brashness and her tendency to let controversy follow her, Reese will need to show that she can balance the pressure of being the league's shining star with the responsibility of leading it to success. There's no question that she has the talent to do so, but does she have the maturity and focus needed to become the figure Unrivaled and the WNBA need to survive? But beyond her on-court skills, Reese also has to deal with the off-court drama that's been following her. It's no secret that her larger-than-life persona has often overshadowed the actual games. Social media controversies, clashes with fans, and moments of questionable behavior off the court have kept Reese in the headlines for reasons unrelated to basketball. If Unrivaled is going to rise, Reese's ability to handle the spotlight without letting it derail her career will be crucial. So what's at stake? For one, the league's credibility. The success or failure of Unrivaled hinges on how well Reese can perform as its face. If she's able to show up, take control, and bring the same energy that made her famous, Unrivaled could become a serious force in women's basketball. But if the controversies continue, if Reese is unable to handle the pressure, or if her star fades under the weight of these expectations, Unrivaled could crumble before it even gets started. At the end of the day, the future of women's basketball is still up in the air. While Angel Reese is undoubtedly one of its most exciting talents, she's also a player surrounded by uncertainty. Unrivaled was built on the promise of revolutionizing the game, but the league's success or failure will ultimately depend on Reese's ability to live up to the hype. Can she rise above the controversies and lead women's basketball into a new era, or will the weight of her bold words prove too much to handle? It's a question we'll all be watching closely as the season unfolds. The stakes couldn't be higher, and Angel Reese, for better or worse, is at the center of it all.